FaceTime no. Let me see. FaceTime no, I don't even be understanding that. Oops. It's not even supposed to be here. How did I get here? Well, I feel like this. That's okay. All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm working from home today. This is from home. That is from work. In my little space. And it comes from the book that I was reading, Atomic Habits. I forget who the author is, but it's a great book. You should get it. But it was talking about making the different spaces in your home um, so that you can create new habits. It'll be better for creating new habits. So this this my chair. This where I be. This one is worn the most because this where I be. It was where I was doing going live from. I would go live from here. I do my reading here. I do my writing here. I did everything here. My studying here. So I only have but a one bedroom. So I made my other recliner my workspace. So all things pertaining to work, this is work. My writing is work. My reading is work. My crafting is work. So I do all my work from right there. My studying, that's my study room. Well, this is my exercise room as well because I don't have anywhere to exercise at because got to get this. I love all kinds of music and welcome, 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 you guys. It's just Sylvie. And I'm here to bring you some of that 414, that one in the middle for some balance. Why? Because you see things this way, they see things that way. And if we come together for some effective communication, we can at least get some understanding. May not agree, but we can get some understanding. But I love all genres of music. I'm not gonna say I listen to all the time, but I've been known to listen to a lot of genres of music. Um, hip hop, hip hop and R&B and gospel are probably my favorites, but I have one of my playlists is called Everything, and in that playlist I have everything. I have alternative music, I have jazz, I have older music like from the 50s and the 60s and older music. I have R&B and hip hop, I have gospel. I don't think that I have any heavy metal, but I do listen to heavy metal from time to time. I listened to heavy metal more when I was younger than I do now. I listen to country music. I like music. Um, I would consider my daughter the music connoisseur, my oldest daughter, because she introduces me. She just sent me a playlist that is to die for with old school music on it. She was taking me to the airport and she had that music playing because the old people were in a car. Myself and my girlfriend, we were headed out on our cruise. Um, and I told her, I was like, I need that playlist. She's like, send me a reminder. So yeah, I do like all kinds of music. But back to Atomic Habits. My stretching. I exercise in here, but I stretch in my bedroom on my bed because after I got in the accident, getting on that floor to do things is almost impossible. Nothing's impossible, but it's a struggle. It is definitely a struggle. You said the you said the name of it is Hopes and Dreams. I'm a look. I'm screenshotting your messages so that I can check them out. Screenshotting your messages so I can check them out. Um. So y'all see the name of that title, and we gonna get to that. That young man had to call the cops and get him a order so that his child's mother would do right. She's in contempt of court. We gonna talk about that. But first, I want to talk about Cardi B, Stefan Diggs, and Offset. Uh-oh, wasn't supposed to go there. I think I've listened to some electronic music before. Okay. I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna check them out. I sure do appreciate it. So, y'all know that I say if you've ever been in one of my lives, I always contend and will always contend that this is a page directed toward women. I know that I be having a lot of men in my chat um, sometimes when I go live, and I appreciate it. I ain't saying the men can't be here. I'm saying my charge and my purpose was to come online and speak to women. It was exactly to step on some toes, and it took years for me to get myself together with it because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Stepping on toes feel like getting in people's business. But the thing about that is what that young lady said on that post today, and I made a video about it as well on another young lady's post, a young lady that was speaking about why y'all moving in with all them boyfriends. When you put stuff on public social media, and I had a person to contend with me about a post that Shamar Moore did probably a year or so ago, telling us it was none of our business. How? When you put it on public platforms, that young lady on this last post said, if it come across my timeline, it becomes my business. I'll do you one better. I watch YouTube, and YouTube is not always, well, no, it's still coming on my YouTube For You page. If it's coming on my timeline, on I don't care if I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I don't care if I'm reading an article on the news on a Google platform. If it comes across my timeline, no. If it comes across my timeline, it is talk aboutable. If you don't want it to be talk aboutable, you might just think about not putting your business out. Being a little more private. There's people out there that you don't know what's going on in their life. The cameras don't just happen to show up where they at. They keep their business private. But then some folks just want to come on social media and talk about all their business and build great fan bases because you talking about your business and people love to hear folks' business. Then people want to get mad when folks comment because a lot of times, like Cardi B, I don't know what any of their, I just know the Beehive and the Barbs. I forget what Cardi B's people are called, but you have Tasha K got her winos and everything like that. And when you have a fan base that is they are generally going to go hard for you. So they're going to be coming at the necks of anybody that comes in and speaks against you. Did my thing about Cardi B. And I got hold of Cardi B before she ever just blew up like she did when she was on Love and Hip Hop. And I loved her. I did. And I don't listen to her music, not for real. I defended WAP, but listen to O'Shea Duke Jackson. WAP, thank you. I appreciate you for retracting your message. I didn't happen to look down to see you retracted it. But he said if you think about WAP, it shows her position and where she is right now. She is a married woman. And I have said this about Remy Ma and Papoose. I go, and I'm so glad that it's just died down like you're not seeing Papoose and Clarissa everywhere. I got tired of seeing Papoose and Clarissa. But the fact of the matter is, Papoose is a married man. Cardi B is a married woman, and so was Offset. I am not condoning anything that Offset did while they were together. To hear O'Shea Duke Jackson, so this is alleged, to hear O'Shea Duke Jackson talk, Offset has admitted he knew he was wrong. He was young. He was in the business. I have talked about that with someone that I love dearly, who was potentially getting with someone that is moving into the business. And at that point, we were watching the Wu-Tang Clan. And she was comparing what she would think her life would be like to Ghostface. And I forget whose sister that was. Is it the RZA's sister? The GZA's sister? But he married one of their sisters. And so she wasn't going to lose her husband. Look, my aunt is 76. She said divorce is not an option. And it wasn't always easy. Wasn't always easy with her and her husband. But that other person that I love was like they knew that they would have to deal with it. Hey, they knew that they would have to deal with it. But something came up to change that. And that was someone going into the industry. Not yet big, but big. And, he representing our city right now on the show. Or he was. I don't know if the show is over or not. But I said all of that to say, yes, I am. I said all of that to say, not to be giving excuses to men when they do it. But first and foremost, you can't tell me that women don't do it as well. When they in the industry, they can have a man and they could be out there doing their thing as well. I would never say that it only goes one way. But what I will say is the pride of men, and that is speaking to the male species, is more apt to drive the man into feeling like it's just okay to cheat. And the woman is just supposed to be okay with it. All of that to say, Instead of getting a divorce, Cardi B just said, I'm just getting ready to go get another man. Because sometimes that's saying that the grass is not greener on the other side. It's real talk. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And it seems as though Cardi B is finding that out now. It is said, and this is all allegedly, I'm just listening to O'Shea Duke Jackson. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I was listening to O'Shea Duke Jackson. It is said that Stefan Diggs, no, Tasha K said that because he played the video. Or Street Media. I watched both of them speak on it. O'Shea and Street Media. They collab, so I think that one will get the video from the other. They'll watch the other and they'll run each other's, they'll both speak on the same subject. And they do it from different viewpoints. That's why I like to watch them both. Yeah, Tasha K said it's 3 babies, 3 buns in 3 ovens, and 1 bun just released from an oven. Meaning Stefan Diggs has 1 baby and 3 on the way. One of them being Cardi B, allegedly. It's nice to see that there are some women that are calling her out, because I can trust and believe that her group, I don't know what her group name is. Let me see. Let me Google it right quick and see what, because I want to respect the group names. If I could call out the Bobs and the Winos and the Beehive and the like, I want to give Cardi due respect. Let me see. I think it's the Barty Gang, I think. I'm so good. The Barty Gang. So the Barty Gang is probably so Team Cardi that they're not thinking about calling her out, because we live in a time right now where we want to call wrong right. And I just said on my last live, what I'm not going to do is call wrong right. If I ain't going to call my wrong right, I promise I ain't going to call your wrong right either. You're a married woman. It hasn't been said anywhere that Offset made babies. Now you got a baby on the way. And Street Media was like, they probably gonna get back together because I seen all of this story before. I heard that. He said I seen all of this story before, and I have, and I'm not against it. Why? Because I'm team marriage. But you know, they talk about Cardi B's value, and when they speak about value, okay, O'Shea brought WAP into it. You wanted everybody to know that you had a WAP. Is that what you lead with? I come up here all the time and talk about men leading with money and leading with their looks and leading with things that are very superficial. Now, while the WAP is important in a relationship, when you lead with it, you get what you lead with. My thought process is the fact that y'all still married, you don't want to be divorced. So if they gonna work it out, I will hope they work it out, because now she done got her get back, because that feels like get back, because you were so hurt that your husband was out here in these streets. So you want to hurt him like he hurt you. It happens. Excuse me, y'all. I gotta check my food. Okay. It was making weird noises. My bad. So you want to hurt him like he hurt you, because sometimes that happens. And one thing for sure and two things for certain. Y'all don't like it. Y'all might put up a front. We just don't know how to put up that front. Women are emotional creatures. That is the feminine, the most feminine side of a woman. That's why we are supposed to be learning how to balance our emotions. That's when you have emotional men, even heterosexual, overly emotional men, they're walking in feminine energy. Because emotions should be balanced and controlled. But you can't tell me nothing to make me believe that when y'all love a woman and she go out there and get the wilding out on them streets, and a lot of times it because y'all done out there wilding out in them streets and she wants some get back. You can't tell nobody how to get get back. This ain't clap back. Can't tell nobody how to get get back. You better think about that thing before you get out there in them streets. Because that can it can also get dangerous, but it can get dangerous on both sides because you're playing with somebody's emotions. When you're playing with somebody's emotions can take over. That is why they had the whole series called Snapped. Because them women emotions took over. And I've talked about a couple of Cash Flow Harlem. Y'all should go check out Cash Flow Harlem page. I love his page. He's a hip hop artist, and all of his content is done in the form of hip hop. He is on YouTube and Instagram. Many of his much of his commentary is about couples who done messed around and got overly emotional over somebody being out there in them streets or something to that effect, and somebody end up gone. Yeah. I just talked about the young day. It ain't always the man woman. Just talked about the niece that took her aunt out because she allowed her to move in. Auntie allowed her to move in, and she starts screwing her auntie's husband or husband to be. You putting that thing on her, and then you gonna tell her to stop. She can't tell it. She telling you to tell it. You telling her no, she can't tell it. Well, if I can't tell it, and I can't have you, neither can she. Yeah, emotions take over. And that's not to say that no one should ever be you get punished when your emotions take over, because you're still guilty, because they don't have to. You're not supposed to be led by your emotions. So my hope is that Cardi B and Offset work it out and mature, because they have a family to raise. And if they don't want anybody talking about their business, stop putting it out here. Stay out the public eye. And we ain't got to be in your business. That's my thought process. That's all. So then we're going to talk about, and I don't even have much to say about this. I just know that Tamar woke up in a pool of blood, and she was missing teeth and all of that good jazz. Anybody that's ever watched me live know that I have said my share about Tamar over the last year or so. Sporadically, it comes back to Tamar, especially when I was binge watching the Braxton Gals. It's a lot. Tamar is a lot. But Funky Dineva came into the picture, and Tasha K tore Funky Dineva down, Because he kept calling her that lady. I don't know what happened to that lady. That lady. But it looks like all he wanted her to do was say that he wasn't involved. And she went all around the mulberry bush. She was talking to folks, telling them that she had been in the hospital, and you never saw anything about anything. You saw the dentist come out of maybe a few days after to let you know that she had flown or got driven to Florida. The incident happened in Atlanta. She got driven to Florida to get her teeth fixed or what have you. Funky Dineva said she called him and asked him for Dr. Heavenly's, because I just got finished binge watching them, and he goes to Dr. Heavenly for his teeth. I think he was on about two of those Married to Medicine shows, getting in Dr. Heavenly's chair, getting his teeth fixed. But my only thing that I really wanted to talk about is him saying he's trying to protect Tamar medically and romantically. And I just would love to know why medically and romantically. Like, that sounds like there is something to that we don't know that he know. Something going on with her romantically, something going on with her medically that he might have to let us know. So I just want to know, because I know I've been on Tamar for a little bit. I've been on Tamar for a lot of it because I was watching the Braxtons. I started binge watching it again because when I was bouncing around, I wasn't able to watch it. But when I was watching it before, was when they went on Ayanna's. Tamar was a hot mess on that episode. She was a hot mess. Tamar has always been a hot mess. Always been spoiled rotten. Always seek to get the eye on her. Always. Always. I don't think this is any different, especially because came to find out that she has an EP coming out, so it all feels like uh, a ploy to draw in views for this EP. And I watched, I think it was Storm Monroe, and he was like, and the music, the actual song that she was singing, it wasn't terrible. Tamar can sing, and she has made a couple of good hits. So the music wasn't terrible, but the video was horrible. And it was all over the place with people saying that Yandy that Yandy did this to her because she was messing with Mendices or something like that. And I'm just like, that's crazy. But Mendices is in the video. So that made me feel like that really wasn't the case. You know, people are speculating that she was on some things because Funky Dineva is on some things allegedly. I'm just talking allegedly. She was on some things. Funky Dineva was on some things and all that good stuff like that. Um, but all I can say about Tamar is she's a hot mess. A hot mess. You know, she's the common denominator of several relationships. Somebody, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was O'Shea, said she should have stayed with Vince. That was always my thought process. I'm team marriage, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I don't care if I didn't stay in mine. I'm still team marriage. There were reasons that I didn't stay in mine, just like there are probably reasons why other people don't stay in theirs. Which is gonna bring me to my next story. So I am in this group. I'm in this group, and it is called The Underground Social Lounge and Conversations. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one. And so there was a post today that I went into. Can y'all see that? Because I don't, I just got my phone right now and I don't, you got to have apps to add that stuff to, your video and stuff like that. Oh, my screen was in the way because I got the YouTube up too. If y'all can read what hers says. And let me go into the whole. Okay. Because it's speaking on men leaving the relationship and asking, what is your position on this? It says, wait, he really leaving me? That's what it says the woman is saying. So the caption at the bottom says, she got the man but took him for granted. Now he ain't arguing, he's exiting. Ladies, when silence shows up, it's already too late. Now, if this is my thought process because it's a women's platform, I watch a lot of content by men so that I can get their take, so as to try and understand them better, so as to attempt effective communication, whereas we as women a lot of times are going to go into posts like this and post our emotional responses and things like that. Like I said about the Michael Baisden post, instead of going in trying to see what some of the men is saying, we ready to pounce. Same soup applied on this post. We was ready to pounce. So I commented because the dude that posted it was like, "What's your thoughts?" So I commented, I say the purpose of this post is to know that men get tired too. I wouldn't say it was a stupid post. Oftentimes, balanced men don't have a voice. I see a lot of posts asking men about their feelings and women interjecting their views. I believe it's at least worth pondering rather than simply blowing it off. So someone came and mentioned me in response to this post. So Ray Ray says, "What's to ponder?" I'm being honest when I ask. I think most people would assume that either the man or the woman will leave. They are tired of the BS. I think it's common sense to understand men get tired too. Women might end relationships more, but men also initiate breakups as well. That's why this post doesn't make sense. I see it and think, oh well, y'all can both move on now. So I went and commented, your comment, women end it more. Many times because of that, their feelings are sometimes not validated, the men. You may have women that swore they did everything correctly. If you think about her comment, she was like, wow, he really leaving me? Like she thought, what did I do wrong? Wow, he really leaving me? Why are you surprised? If he got silent, it's possibly because he been talking about stuff. Y'all know I be on Ben. We want what we want from y'all. But when y'all finally get to talking, we are going to twist that thing back around. And it's not all women, but it happens. And all too often, women are just going to take Ray Ray's view and be like, oh, well, what is there to ponder? She said, he really leaving me? Why would she ask that question? She was doing everything right. Is it at all possible that he was trying to have some communication about some things and she just invalidated his feelings? Is that at all possible? That's what the ponder for, Miss Ray Ray. That's what the ponder is for. Sometimes we must ponder. I said, well, they did everything correctly. This is not always the case. This is why I say ponder, and I don't believe that believe it to be a senseless post. Period. I don't believe it was a senseless post. But most of the women that were commenting on it were commenting like Miss Ray Ray commented. Let me read this word right quick, and then we're gonna talk about. After I read the word, we're gonna talk about what's his name, Deontay Wilder, and then we're gonna talk about that young man on TikTok. That young man on TikTok. That's this young man, 22 years old. And that was another post. I'll talk about that post from the underground after I read this word. Because it's gonna go with the young man on TikTok. So Proverbs 2:19. None that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life. And before I go any further, the summary in one of the commentaries on verses 10 through 19. So you know it's real, because in this we're talking about the strange woman. But I never want a woman to think that it's just about us. It speaks about the strange man as well. Just not the verse that I chose. But the summary on verse 10 through 19, statements of the advantages which result from the possession of wisdom, and especially as a safeguard against evil men and evil women, because they are both out there. But when we refer to, I have been on posts. I talk about the Fight Dawn. The Fight Dawn is always going to talk about infidelity from men and from women. When he talks about men doing it, the women are eating him up. When he talks about women doing it, the women are in there trying to rationalize why she did it. That's why you got to ponder on a post about why he leaving. That's why. Says his friends talk of cold and consumptions, but widely differ. They are differing are their symptoms. After a while, we hear of his death. And we talking about when that young man is going, this is basically talking about marriage. And it hits it from different, it's not just about marriage, but this commentary was speaking about marriage and how good your marriage bed is, instead of running after that strange woman. That's lust. It's going to tell you how hard it is to get up out of that thing once that lust take hold. I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman. Once that lust take hold of you and you submit to it, one thing for sure and two things for certain, it's going to tell you that it's a rarity that you get out of that thing and put your mind on the true and the living God and Yahusha. Let this mind be in me that is in Yahusha. You can't think about that when your mind is on the lust. Because the lust had you gone, buddy. It had you gone. Period. Says the fate of companions of the strange woman is described as irrevocable. Can't turn that joker around. She done put that good thing on you. She done taught them good words. She done taught them what it is talking them good words. Flattery. Then they say flattery will get you everywhere. Flattery will get you everywhere. Flattery will get you right on caught up in all's the lust. In all's the lust. Says they shall not return in peace. Once you realize that you stuck and you begin to try to get yourself out, So they shall not return in peace. You is clawing to get away from all the lust. That takes a mature spirit. Says it is as difficult to bring back a libidinous, and that is somebody with a high sex drive, a libidinous person to chastity as a dead man to life. If you don't got the proper machinery, and it's not often that they can resuscitate you. It's not often you hear people talk about they brought dead person back. You know, we talk Jesus did it, but I'm talking about the medical practitioners. Sometimes, very rarely, when a person lose their life, you've heard people talk about I died and they brought me back. It's not a regularity. It's a rarity. This was a saying, O Trojan, son of Anchises, easy is the path that leads to hell, but to retrace one's steps and escape to the upper region, this is a work. This is a task. Is you up for the task of coming back from the strange woman because she had you gone with all them words and all them looks and all that smell good and all that wop. Says flattery is only another name for a sweet falsehood. Flattery is not the truth. I talk about flattery towards the man in the pulpit on a regular basis. If he got yes men or she got yes men and women surrounding them, how does one become corrected in the pulpit where you sit high in position? If they can't nobody tell you nothing, if they only telling you what make you feel good and what look good, where the wisdom coming in from that? That's why I said this ain't the strange woman. Ain't just about a marriage bed. But the most effective and destructive form of it is flattery. It being sin. I have stopped the most effective and destructive form of sin is flattery. Don't flatter me. Don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself. Be able to be told something if it's the truth. And we had a conversation about how hard it is to tell men stuff, even if they know you love them. My cousin wound up saying, sometimes what you tell us ain't good. Yeah, I'm talking about the good stuff. I get it. I'm talking about the good stuff. When you know it's for your good and you still beating against it like a ram, not in the bush. Have plenty of men. I got a brother like that. I got an uncle like that. I got another brother like, look, I got a friend like that. He getting better. But you got to be able to take something when you know someone cares about you or you know someone loves you. And that there's stubborn women out there like that too. I'm not just talking to her, y'all. I'm talking to us too. It says to physical death, vice carries with it a penalty in the body. It robs of health and strength. It enfeebles. It sows seeds of sickness and death. The graves of lust are in every cemetery and churchyard in the land. Show me a cemetery that don't got somebody in it that were lustful. I don't care what the color of their skin is. I don't care what their nationality. I don't care what their religious preference. I don't care if they don't have a religious preference. Lust don't care. Lust don't care who you is. If it get hold of you, it says irrevocable. Irrevocable. To spiritual death. None that go unto her return again as they went. If you return, you ain't gonna return the same. Says men come away from every unlawful indulgence other than they go, weaker and worse in soul. That's why it says there'll be no peace if you return, because it done grabbed hold of you. But God, at least, but very few return by repentance. That's why I said, but God, because that's the only way you'll get a bit of peace. It's if you put your eyes on the Most High God. Lord, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to do it. I didn't mean to get caught up with all of this love. I ain't gonna do that no more, Lord. And mean it with your whole heart. Because other than that, ask me how I know. You let the Lord take something from you and you grab that thing back. Woo, buddy. You don't want to do that. That's what you don't want to do. Period. What you don't want to do. Some have been recovered by the power of divine grace, truly believed in Christ, and lived sober and godly lives afterward. This is not just about sex. It's about idolatry, superstition, will worship, heresy. What is taking you down that path? Because when you make something your idol, that's as good as lusting after it. You don't just gotta lust after SEA. Whatever you make bigger than God, you lusting after that thing. Period. So let's talk about Deontay Wilder, and then we're gonna talk about the young man from TikTok. So Deontay Wilder is a boxer, and Deontay Wilder was married. And I'm not quite sure how long he and his wife were married. But O'Shea Duke Jackson said they had this many children and they look like me. He and his wife, they both look like me. O'Shea Duke Jackson said that when Deontay was married to his first wife, that he was very fruitful. Says, and then they quietly got a divorce. Then he came out with the second chick. And I forget what her name was. But she didn't look like me no more. She looked like me right there a little bit. But she wasn't Caucasian. She was Filipino. And all that I stated, and that was way before O'Shea Duke got there, because he was showing some comments that had talked about it. He's, he went and got somebody lighter. They go around. Didn't say why they divorced, but it said that he was fruitful with his wife. So everybody in the boxing world was stating to him that she for the streets, in my Corey Holcomb voice. She was the boxing world's 304. Y'all don't know what 304 is, then go look it up in slang, but I'm going to believe that people know what 304 is, maybe. But go look it up. She was the boxing world's 304, but you don't know what the 304, but you definitely know what she for the streets mean. She's for the streets. So you ignore all of that advice and you get with this chick. And then I think O'Shea said that she started messing with somebody else. She was for the streets. I know that the words that he stated about Deontay Wilder while with the Filipino woman was he was down bad. So he went from being fruitful to down bad. Why? Because the upper echelon would prefer that once when they look like this, said it remind you of your mother, and your mother is harsh and all that stuff like that, and your mother is not who you want to take into this world that we are going to allow you in. Once you start making that money and you real fruitful and stuff like that, she don't work. She don't fit the bill. Like the unction said about Cora Jakes. TD Jakes had to put Sarah out there and get them boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? All at the conference. Where them fans at? Whoa, 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 whoa. Boots on the ground. I don't know the rights to that music. So he put Sarah in there to run his business because Cora was not marketable. The upper echelon, the peoples, wasn't going to flock to Cora like they flocked to Sarah. The people weren't going to flock to this wife like they would this one. But this one had them down bad. So now it says he on his third one. And I really forgot what he said about the third one, but what he didn't say was fruitful again. So you're the common denominator of threes, Mr. Deon Wilder. The common denominator of threes. So, I'm going to talk about this young man on TikTok. So, we was coming home from a family reunion, and my cousin was like, did you hear about the daddy on TikTok that was out there and he was just waiting for his baby mama to show up with the baby and she just ain't never show up? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to have to go look for that. And so I went and I looked for that. This young man was 22. He was a whole 22. He is a whole 22 years old. And all he is trying to do. Oh, they put a lot of stuff up here. All he is trying to do. I should have downloaded that post. All he's trying to do is see his baby. That's all he's trying to do is have his time with his baby. And he had to go file an order with the cops because he keeps showing up to the spot where they are supposed to meet. And she ain't showing up with the baby. And I can't think of it. It's not a protective order. I can't think of see, I don't deal with unbalanced stuff, Lord. I like balanced statements. I'll fight for balanced statements. I mean, I training is a real thing. Jackie said women ain't trained, but they are. You get training at work. You get training. You get training. Look, I'm okay. I can't find it. But the post was something along the lines of we always talk about men should fight for their babies when they shouldn't even have to. And the young woman, let me go to that post because I put it in my favorites. The young woman came and commented on this baby's post because the baby mom is in contempt of court and she still is not showing up the way that she should. So my hopes is that he get joint custody. They're saying with the orders that he filed, it's possible that he could get joint custody. My hopes is that he gets joint custody because it should never be that he's trying to do what he has to get his baby. Let's see. And it might be on the other post that I watch, and I ain't put it in my favorites. But the girl basically, look, I'm altogether wrong, y'all. But the girl on the comment basically was saying, talking about it's good to see that he fighting for his baby like that. And somebody came on the comment and was like, why should he have to? Why should he be expected to? Or something like that. And she was like, he shouldn't be expected to, but sometimes that's what you got to do. My whole thing is, why are y'all on this post? That's almost defending the young lady. When you're saying, when you are contending that, yeah, he shouldn't be expected to, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Why are you not coming at her neck? Because I was on that comment with that woman about this very same thing. And she kept trying to associate. It was talking about Haley Bailey, and her son's father. And talking about he should have to go to court and da da da. Why does he have to go to court? She kept bringing their relationship into his parenting, and I kept trying to tell her that's miserable woman syndrome. I couldn't get that young lady to understand. You are a miserable, upset woman if that man is not putting your child in danger, but yet he has to go and fight the courts to see his children or his child. That is never going to be right. You should be in contempt of court. If that man got to fight you, he's sitting in parking lots. That's a baby, Savannah. That's a good man that want to do right by his child, and you are being so petty as to make that young man sit in parking lots, and you don't show up with the baby. I hope he get everything that he asks for. Because one thing for sure and two things for certain, he should not have to be going through that. He should not. And the way he's talking is as if he ain't seen this baby in forever. And you playing with the baby. That baby gonna grow up and resent you. That baby is going to grow up and resent you. Because why you keep... Lord, I ain't have nothing to drink over here with me. Oh my God. Because why you keeping the baby daddy from him? Why you keeping that child's father from them? In any case, when you watch Jason's lyric, that dad was not really a present dad. He was mainly absent. But the mama did not fight him coming to. Was that Forrest Whitaker? She ain't fight him. Now did he have to get got in the end because he was the craziest? That's why I said, if he was the craziest to her though, he wasn't the craziest to them. They love their daddy. Even though they didn't like how he treated their mama. They loved their daddy. Did they want to have more relationship with their daddy? Yes. But she did not fight. It is fathers out there that don't do anything monetarily for their children that are still just allowed to come see their children. Because yes, while money is needed, their emotions are a greater asset than any amount of money. And if those children love their father and you are keeping their father from them for your selfish reasons, woe to you, lady, girl, because it's a very immature thought process. Y'all, I thank y'all for sitting with me for a spell. I don't even understand why I am stopped up right now. But this gotta go. So we done talked about a little bit of Cardi B. We done talked about a little bit of Tamar and Funky Dineva. We talked about the underground conversation source, the two posts. One of them speaking about a man leaving once he goes silent. One of them speaking about men having to fight for their babies, which they shouldn't, which went along with the TikTok, talking about the man waiting in the parking lot for his baby and she never showing up. We talked about Deontay Wilder feeling like the grass was going to, I said Cardi B felt like the grass was going to be green on the other side, so did Deontay. That grass don't get greener. I don't care if you is the man making all the money or if you is the woman making all the money. And we understand, men, when y'all make a whole lot of money, y'all got options. And for a woman, what you see, especially in this this era of social media, when a woman got a lot of money, a lot of times her man is making less than her. But when the man got a lot of money, a lot of times the woman making less. So it's kind of the same, but you want to see men flip it. So if you're not searching for character, what you searching for? Hello, beautiful. The grass is very rarely greener on the other side. If you're not searching for character, what are you searching for? Learn to effectively communicate. Learn to get to know people. Learn to ensure that as well as you wanting your feelings to be valid, his feelings have to be valid as well. Beautiful. Sylvie loves you. And your girl is out.